For a boss in the business of luxury hotels, mountain resorts, and beach vacations, the job is certainly no holiday.
We've gone through, there was 9/11, there were recessions, there was SARS, there was the Great Recession of 2008, 2009. But I'll be perfectly honest, nothing has ever equaled what we're currently going through.
Glenn Fogel, CEO of online travel giant Booking Holdings, calls COVID-19 a disaster.
It's just been a disaster. It's been a human disaster with the number of people who've died. It's a human disaster for the people who've been ill and are terribly debilitated by it. It's terrible economically for everybody who's lost a job. It's terrible for economies in general. How bad it has been is just what's been so shocking.
As lockdown started and airlines skidded to a halt, everything stopped.
The first anxiety is always going to be the illness. People, first thing is they're concerned, are they going to get sick? Then once if they can get over that, say, okay, I'm okay, my family's okay. Wait, we're supposed to go traveling next month or 2 months, and we're not going to be able to go now. We want to cancel and get our money back. And so immediately they're obviously going to want to try and contact someone to get it back.
For a travel giant that grossed $96 billion in bookings in 2019, the stream of cancellations grew into a torrential flood. Booking Holdings owns travel giants like Booking.com, Agoda, Kayak, OpenTable, and Priceline.
The problem that ended up, though, when you have such a mass number of people who all at the same time want to cancel, we were never set up for that kind of cancellation.
You're looking at a tsunami here.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And here's the really bad part about it. So many times legally, the hotel supplier, for example, or the airline, whatever, is supposed to return the money under these type of circumstances. Force majeure, you're not allowed to go by the government says you cannot travel there. So the hotel should give the money back. But many times the hotel can't give the money back. They don't have any money. They've gone bankrupt or they've shut down or whatever. And now we're in the middle. We've got on one hand customers screaming they need the money back, please, particularly if they lost their job or they're concerned. On the other hand, you have hotels like, can't pay it back. We don't have it. We can't. And we're in the middle. What we did is we dipped into our own pocket. Even though, say, the hotel is legally obligated to do it, we paid that customer to make them whole, and we will go out in the long run to get the money back, hopefully from the hotels over time. And that's what we did because it's the right thing to do. We are the person who's supposed to be supporting that customer. We're not going to let them be high and dry. We'll help them out.
How much money did you eventually dole out when it comes to offering back full refunds?
Right. Tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars.
And you were okay with that?
It's the right thing to do. Now, of course, we're working with the hotels now to recover. And we are recovering. And hotels are lowering that outstanding obligation to us. That is happening over time. And we're working with the hotels to make that all come up right. But I'll tell you, it's one of those things where it's not like anybody was really being a bad person here. It's a situation because of the pandemic. It wasn't like people were trying to avoid having to pay out money. They didn't have it, or they weren't even there. There was nobody to contact. Hotels, take Italy, for example. When it shut down, everybody was like supposed to be locked down in your home. There was nobody at the hotel to talk about refunds about. You have to wait until they come back when it gets lifted, the lockdown gets lifted, so we can have a business conversation and talk about what the obligations are. But of course, the customer can't wait, 6 weeks for that. They need the money now.
You have a checklist of things sometimes.
Then in March, Fogel himself and his family tested positive for coronavirus. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I feel fine, and it's a little bit reversed. We were sick, so we went to get tested, and the test proved what we kind of knew was that we were ill. Now, I was so fortunate. My illness was so short. It was 2 days of fever, one night of a headache, and I was fine. In fact, in the United States, it was taking a long time to get results back then in March, and I actually felt fine before the results came back. I tested on a Thursday. By the weekend, I was already working out again, doing workouts. I didn't find out till Tuesday. They said, oh, yeah, you tested positive. I'm like, well, it's interesting news, but I'm feeling better already. And I and my family, we've actually come out fine. And we are so lucky because there's so many people we all know who unfortunately either They lost their fight entirely, and I know people who lost their fight with this virus, and it's horrible. Or yes, they didn't die, but they're still suffering the illness in some form. And it's sad. It's very sad about this.